Today, we're diving into one of the most incredible origin stories ever told, the birth of a prince who is destined to change everything. And you know, this story doesn't kick off with a battle or a coronation. It starts with a dream.
But this wasn't just any old dream. Think of it more like a cosmic message, a prophecy delivered straight to a queen. It was a sign that would not only change the fate of a kingdom, but would literally send ripples across thousands of years of history.
So our story begins way back in the ancient kingdom of Kapilavastu. And there, Queen Maya Devi has a dream so powerful, so vivid, that everyone who hears it knows immediately, this is a big deal. History is about to take a very sharp turn.
Okay, let's break this down, because the imagery here is just packed with meaning. In this tradition, a white elephant, that's a symbol of pure royalty, of greatness, and a lotus flower represents enlightenment. So this dream isn't just some random sequence of events, it's a message, a cosmic forecast of the divine nature of the child she was about to have.
So of course the queen tells her husband, King Shuddhodana, about the dream, and he immediately calls in his wisest sages to figure out what it all means. And what they tell him, well, it presents him with two completely different but equally world-changing paths for his unborn son.
So there it was. The prophecy laid out two possibilities. Her son would either be a Chakravartin, we're talking a legendary king who would conquer the entire world through power and might, or he would become a Buddha, someone who conquers human suffering itself through pure wisdom. I mean, the stakes just could not be higher.
And you can really see the king's dilemma right here. On one side, you've got the promise of absolute worldly power, a massive empire, a legacy that would echo for ages. And on the other side, a quiet path of giving it all up, dedicating a life to ending suffering. Now, if you're a father and a king, the choice seems pretty obvious, right? And the king doesn't even hesitate. His decision is fast and final. He completely rejects the idea of a spiritual path. He's determined to shape his son's destiny, to force him into the role of a great, powerful ruler. And that one choice, right there, a father's ambition, is what sets this entire incredible story into motion.
So as if the dream wasn't enough, the birth itself was every bit as miraculous. Queen Maya was traveling, and she stopped to rest in this beautiful, peaceful place called the Lumbini garden. And it was there, right under a sal tree, that the prince decided to make his grand entrance into the world.
And what happens next is just unbelievable. First, the birth is completely painless. And then, this newborn infant, he just stands up. He takes 7 steps, and with every single step, a perfect lotus flower blossoms right out of the ground. I mean, this is clearly not the birth of an ordinary person. This is the arrival of someone truly special.
Can you even imagine? With his very first words, not a cry, but a clear, powerful sentence, the baby announces his mission to the world. It's a direct confirmation of that spiritual prophecy and, a huge challenge to his father's dreams of empire.
Okay, so back at the palace, the party is on. They name the baby Siddhartha, which means one who achieves his goal. But then, this highly respected old sage, a man named Asita, arrives, and the whole vibe just shifts. A little bit of unexpected drama is about to unfold.
So picture this, right? The wise man, the one whose approval the king desperately wants, he looks at the baby and his face just lights up with this pure joy. It's like, yes, he's the one. But then, to everyone's total shock, he just breaks down and starts crying. The whole court goes completely silent. The king, of course, is completely alarmed. He asks the question that's on everybody's mind. Why are you crying? Is this a bad omen? Is my son in some kind of danger? You could have cut the tension in that room with a knife.
And then the reason for Asita's tears comes out, and it's not at all what anyone expected. He's not crying out of sorrow for the prince. He's crying for himself. He's overjoyed that he's in the presence of a future Buddha, but he's heartbroken because he knows he's too old. He won't live long enough to actually hear his wisdom.
Now, for King Shuddhodana, Asita's words aren't a comfort. They're a 5-alarm fire. If his son is destined to see the world suffering and give up the throne, well, the king decides he has to do everything in his power to make sure his son never sees that truth.
So, the king kicks his plan into gear. He's going to build the perfect world for Siddhartha, basically a gilded cage filled with luxury and pleasure, totally cut off from all the harsh realities of life. No sickness, no aging, no death. He's literally going to try to defy destiny itself.
And that's the question that just hangs in the air for the rest of Siddhartha's childhood. The king has built the most beautiful prison in the world, all to force his son onto a throne.
But when a soul is meant to awaken the entire world, can any wall, no matter how high you build it, really hold it back?